Here's why I speak on Lamar Jackson very seldomly. I want to say shouts out to HD. I saw his live yesterday and it blew my mind. Uh, I had to go back and check out and see what was going on, but I couldn't believe it was Big Ben that was talking. And I didn't talk about Lamar Jackson and his situation because I know what they want to do. I wanted to see how things play out a little bit before I go ahead and start speaking. Now, Lamar Jackson's mother has represented him since forever. You know, she would stop him from signing autographs in certain situations. And this is a black woman who supposedly has no experience enough to be representing her son. Then when he wins the Heisman Trophy and he's elected to go pro, then this is when everything's supposed to change and you get your agent. Every agent and every agency reached out to Lamar Jackson. He turned them all down. And normally it says, okay, you go ahead and go get someone else. Tom Condon and Bob, was not Bob, but Ben Dogra, they took it very personally. Steinberg, who represents a lot of athletes like Warren Moon and Troy Aikman, and he's a quarterbacks guy. So naturally, he thought he would land Lamar Jackson. And all these people did not have a chance when they said, no, he's going to represent himself. He has his mother for counsel. And they're like, this guy must be crazy. Well, let's see how crazy the man is. He didn't get to play till almost the end of the season, where he played well. And actually, after 4 years, people think he's been playing for longer than that. In his 4-year tenure, he has an MVP. And he's throwing the ball to Hollywood Brown. All of this stuff about not wanting to pay him the money, only offering him $130 million guaranteed signing, is an insult for a guy who's a former MVP when you see the rate of what they've paid Deshaun Watson. Whether if you believe he's a better quarterback or not, it hasn't been proven yet. And the market is saying he's supposed to at least get in the range of 180 and above of guaranteed money. So why are we saying 130? That's an insult. Even saying, let's work our way up to, let's go in the middle. Let's say it's 150. No, let's say you must be drunk. Let's say this needs to be fixed. Let's say right? Just to let's say, no, it's 180 and above. I wouldn't go anything under 180. That'd be the bare minimum of what you can guarantee me. Lamar Jackson has overperformed. Never have you have a quarterback who can throw from the pocket like he can. I'm not saying he's Tom Brady, but who is? This man came out and won an MVP and has been carrying a team that has been inferior to championships all the way through. Now, I don't understand why everyone else seemed to have a problem with him receiving his $180 million. To me, that's very bizarre because this man basically saved a lot of people's career. So if I know this man saved my career, I would not be having these type of, this type of energy towards everybody else, if that makes any sense. Now you might say, well, what kind of energy are you talking about, buddy? Well, it's quite simple. The energy I'm speaking about is everyone's running around with the fact that Lamar Jackson is asking for too much. He's injury prone. How is he injury prone? Well, he didn't finish last season, and then this season he didn't finish the season. They're trying to point out the fact because Lamar didn't come back. And knowing that it's about the contract, they're trying to paint this narrative so that other teams don't pay him. And this is all because he didn't sign with an agent. See, if they let this black quarterback, right, Lamar Jackson, represent himself and get a big max contract with guaranteed money and everything else, what does that do to CAA? What did that do to creative sports? Guys like Tom Cotton and Ben Dogra. What does it do for them? Steinberg, the rest. What does it do to them? It makes them obsolete. It makes them say, hey, we done messed up here. What do we need an agent for? Look what Lamar Jackson did. He represented himself. So the agencies lose money. What would you need to pay them for? See, they have to represent you. And if they're not representing you, they're hurting you. So this is how they do it. So they got to come out and make it feel like you need them. We could stop all this attacks. We could stop all of this nonsense. We can get the teams to play ball. Those who are not interested in you. They're not interested in you because they would have to deal with you and your mother, and that would be a tough negotiation. You're hard to work with. And we don't think you're really capable of representing yourself. That's what they're trying to say. You can be an athlete. You cannot be both. You can't be smart and know this and play football. But the notion is he can be Einstein. It's what it represents. The people that come after you are going to say, look at what he did. I don't need an agent either. Nah, I'm just going to represent myself. And it's going to start a wildfire that causes agencies to lose money. They don't want to lose money. They want to continue the money wheel. So for Ben Roethlisberger to say the statements he did about another quarterback, even retired, why would you say that? It's because even though his his agent, everybody knows it's Ryan, but Ryan wasn't his first agent. You see, Ryan Tauner took over. Steinberg was his first agent. Lee Steinberg was his agent. And Lee Steinberg wanted Lamar Jackson. He wanted to represent him, just like he had Warren Moon, just how he had Troy Aikman. They went in the hall together. He want to see his play people go into new bounds and get to areas that others have never seen. Now, Creative Sports is what he was signed to, his agency, made sure that this marketing or whatever thing that he signed up for was was going to take a new turn, a new route. Well, people have to understand that people will always try to change narratives. You know, they'll try to come along and sell you um, different perspectives. They try to come by and sell you different ideas. But what they can't sell you is what you bring to the table with innate value. And they know Lamar Jackson brings butts and seats. He can run with the ball, he can make plays happen. But for a man who had the running game and with the Steelers, they were known for their defense, they was known for having a running game. Passing game wasn't really there. Wasn't really their forte. But if they did, they had guys like Hines Ward. You had Washington there. You had a lot of guys, Antonio Holmes. He's never had anything but Hollywood Brown and his tight end. And he made it work. He made it work with one of the worst receiving corps in the last 3, 4 years. So don't feed me with this, uh, what they did and all that. Like Big Ben came out and won those games and he had the table laid out for him. They stole it from Seattle. They took away 3 touchdowns from the Seattle Seahawks. That game was criminal. They wanted Cowher to get a Super Bowl and he got it. He retired with a Super Bowl. Finally got it. And he walked away from coaching. Then Tomlin took over. And he got one with Tomlin. But he really was a choker. He really was a guy that probably shouldn't have had it. He lost to the Packers in the Super Bowl. Big Ben is going to sit there and criticize Lamar Jackson the way he did. He never done that with a quarterback before. Why would you get involved in another quarterback's negotiations? Why they in the negotiation for a contract nevertheless? This man said no one fears Lamar Jackson passing from the pocket. He doesn't really have accuracy passing from the pocket and that's why no one really, I don't think he deserves the money. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Oh, you're doing your bidding for your ex. Well, he's probably still signed up with the agency because he wants Lamar Jackson to think he needs the agency. And they know some people are gonna be like, well, Roethlisberger said it. Well, Roethlisberger passed for 65.4% from the pocket. Lamar Jackson passed for 65.7% from the pocket. With a higher touchdown percentage than Big Ben. Touchdown to any interception ratio is better than Big Ben. Yards per attempt is about the same as Big Ben. So, but better. Now, you're going to say, well, Roethlisberger got to the Super Bowl. start going there, start doing this, he start winning these games. Yeah, well, he wasn't alone. He wasn't alone in that Super Bowl. He wasn't alone getting stuff done. He wasn't alone in making things happen. He wasn't alone. That was the key word. Wasn't alone. He had a superstar team from special teams, from defense to receiving core to safety, Palomalu. He had a team in which it was designed for him to just not screw it up. Hell, he could have been winning towards the end of his career if he wasn't already done and wasn't screwing it up. He had basically Tommy John surgery on his throwing arm and was noodle arming passes out there and causing the team to lose games and lose seasons because they know they're sticking with a quarterback who has no business being out there. So the Steelers had to endure like 2, 3 bad years of Ben when he should have been shut down a long time ago. But it's like, hey, it's Big Ben, you know, and they ain't got time to worry about sitting Ben down, and they should have been thinking about his replacement. But he gets to go out how he wants to go out, right? So it's bigger than race, okay? It's more of a controlling factor from the agents and the agencies. They don't like athletes representing themselves because they don't get paid. Think about how much percentage an agent gets. And they're aware, and Lamar Jackson's aware, if I play and I play well, they don't give a damn who my agent is. They want Lamar Jackson. So Lamar Jackson will be there performing. So it ain't a color thing, it's a green thing. He's saving millions in his pocket for not having an agent. So now, if he gets this deal of what he wants, doing it his way, it'll set a precedent that any other player that comes along is entitled to the same type of treatment as everybody else. Well, as far as his career, you could say Ben got accomplishments, but Ben had a lot more help. So for him to say these things, we're not even going to bring up his personal issues because that's beside the point. That's just another factor to make you say, see what we talking about? Lamar Jackson had love for Big Ben. Like Big Ben was like one of his guys he looked up to because he saw how Big Ben came into the league and it was kind of the same way with him. It was similar. So he kind of identified with that, with Ben Roethlisberger. Because once they got Big Ben, Cowher was like really excited that they got Big Ben and they felt he was the steal of the draft. And everybody was raving about Eli Manning. Here's this big, burly quarterback who Cowher basically grabbed him and was like, "You're going to be our guy." And he comes out and winning like 13 games in a row when he took over. His first loss was in the AFC Championship game to the Patriots. So Big Boom was born, and the next year they think they won a Super Bowl. So his legacy was already in place. Now, I can't speak for everybody else. I can only speak for me. It didn't make sense to see all these things go wrong the way they did, but I know what they're trying to do to Lamar Jackson. It's 100% what they're doing. Everybody can read this playbook and we can see which way it's going to go and which way it's going to turn. Now, I'm sitting here and I'm sitting here and I'm going and I'm saying to myself, why is this even a dilemma? Why is the league just not, well, the Ravens not paying Lamar Jackson? Harbaugh wouldn't even have a job anymore if it wasn't for Lamar Jackson. Seriously, he wouldn't. So, why are we playing this cat and mouse game? It makes no sense. None whatsoever. We have to stop being stupid and get back to what really matters and what's really important. So, on that note, I'm going to get out of here. I didn't want to make this a long video or nothing like that. I just really wanted to point out some of the factors of what's been going on here and that Big Ben is wrong. He's 100% wrong, and he's out here campaigning for his agency because they want Lamar Jackson. So that's why he's doing what he's doing. See, nothing gets by me, man. Nothing. I remember everything. Now, when he didn't sign, I knew this would be the scenario. So now we're stuck listening to this unforgettable nonsense yet again. But with that being said, man, I'm a roll because I don't want to take up too much of your time. But I want to say shouts out to Kwame Brown Bus Life, Kwame Brown Bus Life 2.0, Amardo Black TV, Seahawks Jose Rodriguez. Welcome to HD with the Two Eyes TV, and definitely Damn D. And I'm out the door.